on this computer, and then I was going to go ahead and share. So one, if the people on live have questions, then I want to answer your guys' questions. So tonight's call is just a Q&A call. That's where I go through and I just take your questions, and we're going to work through them. So if you're having struggles, if you're feeling like blocked somewhere, maybe you have just like a logistical question, or maybe you want to strategize on something, whatever is coming up for you, that's what we're here for. So we have just like a whole call dedicated to just Q&A. I am going to answer one from the Facebook, and then I'll see if anybody live has a question that they want to pop on with, or sometimes there's things that like stem from that we keep having questions that come up. So the first one is Amanda Pierce says, how do you bring up the building side during class or a one-on-one? So this is so powerful. I use just a little script. So I just plug it into everything that I do. And I probably say this, I mean, right now I say it like a couple times a day probably still. So I say it too when I'm in a class or a one-on-one, or when I'm having a follow-up conversation with someone, like they've bought their oils and now we're following up. I also will ask people this when I'm doing just check-in calls. So when I'm calling my customers and just checking in with them and seeing how they're doing. And I do that about once every 3 months, where I call my different customers up and ask how they're doing. So here we go. I say, hey, so I never want to assume anything. So, sorry. I want to make sure that I'm not keeping anybody out of here. I say, I never want to assume, but so I always ask if you would be interested in learning a little bit about how you can make money with doTERRA. So did you get that wording? I never want to assume anything about anybody. So I always ask if you would be interested in learning more about how to make money with doTERRA. And then they can just answer yes or no. But it's kind of one of these things. I feel like there's some little conversational pieces or little things that you can just put in that just helps like lessen everything. One of those things is, I wouldn't be doing my job unless I, right? I love that wording. Unless I asked you if you wanted to go ahead and get that kit today, right? It just comes off the tongue and it just helps lessen, it helps people feel more comfortable. So I didn't want to assume, or I never want to assume anything about anybody. So that's the way that I do that. Miriam says, this question I've had too. I've heard several times bringing it up right after closing during the first appointment they're at, but it always feels a little awkward since they've only just learned about the oils. And even if they've only just learned about the oils, like, that's totally fine if they've just learned about the oils. This is actually the absolute best time to ask them because they're super excited. So there's this roller coaster that we go on with our emotions when we're buying things, or just with anything in life, honestly, you guys. You know, there's like that roller coaster. When you first get signed up at the gym, how motivated are you to go to the gym, right? You're like so motivated. You are right up here at your roller coaster. And then so if someone said, and would you like to join our class at the gym, like the Zumba class that we have going on? Oh my gosh, yes, I would. How amazing. Okay, but what if they asked you 3 weeks later when you hadn't gone to the gym very much? Hey, would you like to join our Zumba? No, I'm way down here. Like, I'm not coming anymore. Just our emotions kind of ride, right? And for most of us, everybody, I would actually say, emotions are what sell most of the time. There's logic in there too, but we buy emotionally. And so they bought these oils emotionally, and we want to sell them on doing this as a business emotionally too, and helping them just open up and see like, oh my gosh, this could be an amazing opportunity. So the best time to do this is, so they're right here at a high. They just saw how easy it was, right? And that's the other thing is you just did a class that was super easy, or you just talked to them one-on-one and it was a very easy conversation, right? My conversations take like 20 minutes. The person's then enrolled. And then I just ask really quick. I never want to assume, so I always ask everybody, do you have any interest in learning how to make money with doTERRA? And if they say yes, this is just the perfect opportunity to say, great, I'm going to set up another appointment with you, but this was a pretty easy conversation to have, right? And they'll be like, yeah, this was a super easy conversation. And oh my goodness, sorry people. Sorry guys, I just let you all in that are joining the meeting. So it's a really easy conversation to have when you've just had this one-on-one. It's the best time to do that. It doesn't matter if they know how to use the oils yet. That has no bearing on it. A lot of people come into this business wanting to do it as a business right away. They're so excited about the oils that they have like 20 people off the top of their head that they're thinking of. Right then is the perfect time. Don't wait. It's never a good time, so right now is the best time. That's what I always tell myself. There's never a good time. Right now is the best time. Always take action. Always invite that. All right. I'm going to open it up if we have anybody that's currently on the call that has a question or a question off of that. You guys know how to unmute yourselves? I'm guessing you do, but so I'll just leave that open for a second. Okay, if not, that's totally good. You guys stop me if you have a question. So let's hear. Sorry, there's other people that. Amanda Pierce, you just are joining. We just finished your question that you had on Facebook. So make sure that you go back and watch the recording because we just finished your question. We are going to go on. Okay, April has ideas for incentives for getting people on their second and third month orders to 100 PV. And she also says, I have a fellow doTERRA wellness advocate who'd like to bring people to my make and take classes. Hold on one second, I'm dying. Courtney, do you want to take any of the questions right now? Because I can't breathe for a second. Sorry.
Did you want? This is Kathy. I'm here. Do you want me to take a question?
Yeah, take a question, Kathy. I think I'm going to have just another second of breathing. So April has ideas for gifts to incentivize people for second and third month, or having someone else bring people to a make and take class, but still having that like workout.
Sure. Well, I think the most important thing to incentivize is just remember to not go broke and to not, oh, Courtney's saying her Zoom is freezing. So I think getting some oils and turning them into, like I love the little, let's try to see if I can find my, I love like the little mini roller bottles, and you can take, you can just take like a series of oils and turn them into little tiny mini ones. So you can do 1 ml and you can do 1 drop in 1 ml of coconut oil, and you can really extend the life of your oils. So I think those are always fun, and people love little miniature things. And I love the mini rollers. So for second and third month orders, I like to always, I think, giving people resources. So I love giving away a book for a second order or a third order. I think that's always great. And if you buy them in bulk, that works. Of course, the most affordable is oils because you can use your points for that. So I think wild orange is great. Balance is one of my favorite. You can do it on a sliding scale. So 100 PV order, you get this. 150, you get this. Things like that. So I hope you can hear me. Not really sure. Okay.
Yeah, I love that. Kathy, as you were talking, other ideas started jumping into my head.
Perfect.
So anytime we can make things like a game or fun. There's a lot of research that goes into gamifying things, right? Which is why like punch cards work so well for businesses. It's almost like this little game, like get this much and then you get something for free, right? All of those kinds of things. So one thought that I had is like, I know that there's something floating around there. There's some like LRP club. I haven't really looked into it a ton, but my guess is it's something just like, I think kind of what it is people are just saying, hey, if you get on LRP and you're on for 3 months, at the end of those 3 months, you get a free oil, right? Like that's the LRP club. But just letting people know that they're part of a club, right? And that's the other thing is you want to help people be part of a community more. So there could be, special benefits for being on this LRP club and just committing to that. So again, if they have any kind of little commitments or saying they're going to commit to something, they're more likely to do that. The other ideas that I had was, if this is someone that's really wanting to overhaul their health, helping them come up with ideas, making a big wish list with them and helping them just stick some of those things into their cart, right? And then making that wish list for those other things. And it's something that you could even keep track of if you're tracking your people and you've done that and you know what they want to order next. You can, send them that and say, hey, I just wanted to remind you, I know you had these other items in mind, and I wanted to also let you know here's the 10% off for this month, right? Product. So setting up a health plan, I feel like, is always really helpful. So you're working on sleep this month, or you're working on your digestive stuff this month. So going through those things. Jillian, did you have a question?
Well, I just wanted to add, our group has back to the LRP group that you were talking about. We have a mystery oil LRP incentive every month, where if you place the 125 PV before the 15th of the month, you get invited to this special Zoom call that happens on the 16th. And some folks have, I don't know, I've only been on it once, but it's where they give you hints as to what oil like they're going to be giving away, and it's over, I think it's over 30 PV oil, and it's like, what are the health benefits, what some of the constituents in it, and it's, you guess pretty much, and the person that guesses it wins it. So it gives you a chance to win it. You don't automatically win it just because you're on the call, but you participate with the chance.
How fun. Okay, so this has got gamifying, it's got building community, right? Mm-hmm. And there's like this interaction that's really going on and happening in that. Wow.
And there's a little competition too, because
and people that like competition, oh man, they are going to be like, I want to win that, and I'm going to like study up on my freaking oils, right? Like,
right.
They're going to be doing this. Like, I've never heard this. This is so
And they're fun. Not common ones either. Like one month it was elevation, last month it was neroli. So they're not, it's not just lavender or peppermint, it's different types of oils.
Cool. I love that. Yeah, I love that. So I think there was some good ideas that we came out of there. Does anyone else have any other ideas that they've had work or that they've heard of? Thank you, Jillian, for hopping in and telling us that, because I by no means feel like I have all the answers or everything put together. So I just don't.
I think doTERRA's done a really good job here lately of incentivizing people to buy more. I mean, I've had a lot. I'm just new at building. I've just started since August, and people are placing their 125 PV before the 15th, but then they have BOGOs going on, the Harmony collection. I mean, all these different, the flash sale. It's just amazing how much more folks are buying because of those other incentives. So that's really been helpful.
Yes, I love that. Sorry, a couple people are getting kicked off of our call.
Sorry, my messages are popping up in there.
Okay, I'm just gonna have to, wait, I don't wanna close that. Yes, I do wanna close that. Okay. You're fine. Feel bad. Sorry, I set up a meeting room this time, which I thought was just gonna add people there until I actually got on the call. I didn't realize it adds people there as we're doing the call, which is really annoying. So, okay. April's question is, she has a fellow doTERRA wellness advocate who's not on her team that wants to bring people to her make and take class. How can we partner so that make and take is beneficial for me? You know, April, I think the only benefit to you, well, there's always more than one benefit. So the financial benefit is that you're going to get money from that. That's pretty much your only financial benefit that way. You are going to learn from those other people, right? If they bring other people to that class too that are just users, like I feel like there's social proof from that. So having a little bit bigger class as opposed to like just 2 people there doing a make and take class, if there's 10 people there, I feel like for make and take classes, it's nice to have a little bit bigger group than just like your 2 or 3 people. So you're gonna just have more synergy or more energy there. But I don't really see another benefit because obviously you're not gonna be enrolling her people or anything like that. I don't know if you guys see other benefits to that. But I always invite people from other teams to come to any of my classes. And it has paid forward so many times just because then they're willing to help out. Like it's just part of that kind of the culture that we want to do in doTERRA. And I promise you guys, it always pays back. It always pays forward. Janet, here's a question that she had. She says, let's talk more on bringing rollers into business and getting them a wholesale account like Jeanette did on the cold calling, walking into different places. Okay, so Janet, what do you want to talk about with that?
I was just wondering how you actually get the owner or the manager, whoever runs it, to start ordering oils instead of just selling them rollers.
Yeah, I think that's what Jeanette was planning on doing. When she goes into these places, she plans on having them order or place their own accounts, right? Like, yeah, we'll do some make and take classes, but the point is the make and take classes are so that people can get those roller bottles to begin with, and then they are going to go back into that shop for more oils to buy from that shop. So like the classes are kind of a side benefit. They're not going in and selling roller bottles directly to the places. They're asking them basically to enroll as wholesale accounts or wellness advocate accounts, and then retailing at shops.
Sorry.
That's okay. Does that make sense?
Yeah, because I did talk to my chiropractor, and she's like, can you just do the rollers for me? I don't want to do anything. So she basically just wants me to sell her the oils and make the rollers for her. Instead of her having a wholesale account and her ordering and I make it for them kind of thing.
Okay, so you could say, I mean, you could go lots of different ways, Janet. That was your experience with your chiropractor. So did you like introduce that, hey, we have like a roller bottle class, or like where did she even get this idea of rollers?
Well, I just got the idea from Jeanette, and I just went in there and I said, hey, we should put some rollers in here. And so she just said, yeah. She said, yeah, I'd love to have rollers here because she specializes in kids and pregnant women, and she's used essential oils.
Okay, so get the touch rollers that doTERRA sells.
Okay.
Like, why not those instead of just making up your own blends? Say, you know, it's really better as a business if you sell, like, instead of me mixing the oils and then selling those professionally, it's probably not as good as if doTERRA sells them directly,
Right.
because they're going to be sealed and people are going to feel a little more comfortable. It's totally different if I'm coming in as a class and I'm teaching and then people are making it themselves, because it's a little hands-on, which is so fun for people. But I mean, I'm just thinking as professionally walking into a chiropractor's office and having something there that looks homemade. You're not going to make it look like doTERRA's labels.
Right.
It's not going to be packaged. There's none of those quality controls that are really there, right?
Well, I think she got the idea from, because I've made her rollers for different things that she's had, and we're really good friends. So I'm like, oh, well, let me make you something. And she's like, oh, I want that thing that you made, that roller that you made for my daughter, or that roller that you made for sleeping. So she wants me to make her a roller. She doesn't want to like buy the rollers from doTERRA. So if I go to a different, business, like how do you approach, hey, sign up, for a wholesale account? And how do you go about, making rollers for them just to have there, like Jeanette was talking about, like customize a roller for their business.
Okay, say the last question again. So how do you help her get a wholesale account?
No, how do you go about telling them to get a wholesale account? Because my whole thing was, I like that Jeanette was trying to do a niche, like, we'll do a customized roller for your business.
So that's not what she was saying. I think she didn't quite explain it correctly. She's not doing a customized roller. She customizes a display case. So she actually builds a display case. She has someone that builds a display case so they can put the oils on there.
Okay, then I totally got it. Different.
So that's my understanding, at least. Otherwise, let's ask in that thread maybe, or message Jeanette. I hate to just be like, message Jeanette, because I know.
Yeah, I talked to Jeanette, but she's super busy, and my daughter was crying while we were on the phone. So I asked her a couple things real quick, and then I talked to her assistant. So that's kind of what I got from them. So I'll just, if I have any questions, I'll probably just go back on that.
Okay, because I don't know then.
Okay.
I'm just not seeing that. I don't get it. Sorry.
Okay.
And, I think there's a good question in here, which is, what do you want your business to look like? Is that what you want to do? Is you want to make custom roller bottles and sell them for $4? That's not a sustainable business, right? What's typical for businesses is to get a wholesale account and to buy lots of other products. So I like to present it for people who own that. So I have a meeting on Wednesday of next week with a pharmacist who owns her own private pharmacy. What I'm saying is doTERRA offers wholesale accounts and you can sell stuff retail. And so that's the way I would say it. Just like they sell vitamins, and they sell so many other things, just think of doTERRA as another vendor for them. And for people who own offices, it's a super easy thing. And I think the other question that you have is how do you transition from your friend to this business relationship, right? Where you've been giving her oils and helping her on a personal level, which I think is still totally fine to do. But from the business side, just say, your office just needs to sign up, just like they do, any other thing that you guys buy wholesale, and you'll just have a retail. So I think the more complicated part is, how do you transition your friends out of giving them samples to asking them to buy? So I like to hear other people's ideas of how they've done it. How do you transition? This is why we say don't give samples. Just tell people that doTERRA has money back guarantee. But it's hard once you've started it. It's so hard to make the switch.
She's paid me for the rollers I've made her. I haven't given them for free. So that's why she's like, why don't we just do this in my office? Everybody would love these rollers that I bought from you.
And you say, you know what? I only do that for my very special friends. That's not how my business, I'm not doing that for my business.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, you can just say, oh, you know what? That's not what I do. Or that's not really how this works. I did that for you because,
Because I love you.
I love you and you're my very special friend, right? you can say, actually, doTERRA has a much better way. And I think introducing maybe those touch roller blends might be a good way, because they have the emotion blends. It's not like they just have, you know, those certain ones. They've got,
Yeah, there's like 14.
right. And they're more versatile than making a specialized blend for just, you know, like focus or whatever, like having all of the oils, having peppermint. Well, there's a bajillion ways you can use peppermint, as opposed to having, you know, peppermint, lemon, and lavender all together in one. You're really going to just use that for your allergies, right? But having just peppermint for cell, and then you could get a lemon and a lavender, and you can use them for different things too. So I guess lemon doesn't come in roller, but anyway, I think if she wants rollers, if she's stuck on rollers, then that's what I would do with those rollers. With that. So hopefully that was helpful. And then Amanda, Kathy, you have such an amazing gift for, thank you. You did such a good job answering that. Amanda says, my therapist uses oils in her office, but they're not doTERRA, so she wanted to teach her and the on-site yoga and wellness instructor about doTERRA, but is this a conflict of interest? I mean, I don't think so, because...
Who would be the conflict of interest with, Amanda? You mean from their point of view or yours?
Hold on. I think it would be a conflict of interest on my side, because she's my therapist and she knows I'm a wellness advocate. So I feel like, I don't know if there was it's like a line. Like, do I ask her to teach a class to her and the yoga instructor, or, you know what I mean? I don't know what to do, because they both use the oils, but they're not doTERRA. They're like the generic, you know, brand you buy at like Walmart or whatever.
So there can be some conflict of interest for some professionals who do not consider it appropriate to purchase things from their clients, right, and vice versa for you to sell to a therapist. So I think you just maybe have to have a question with them about, you know, whether or not it's an opportunity for you to have classes to get new clients that are not, you know, are they just hosting you, or are you looking to actually bring the doTERRA into their office?
I was looking to bring doTERRA into their office. She was interested, but I've had trouble with, like, well, she's my therapist, and do I really do that? Like, I didn't want to cross.
I think I might ask her, you know, because some people are a little more sensitive than others to that professional boundary, especially I know therapists have a completely, you know, kind of different code of ethics related to relationships, financial relationships with clients and things. So it may be something that maybe someone in your downline could maybe be the point person, since you have that professional.
Thing I was thinking, because my upline is actually a really good friend of mine. That's how I got in. So she had offered to maybe step in and teach the class, so that it's not coming from me.
Yeah, I mean, you're still going to have the question of, if they choose to enroll, where are you going to place them, and
right.
And I think that's just, you know, just having a good conversation about, you know, I love you as my therapist. I know that you're interested in this, but how do we, you know, how do we kind of negotiate or navigate this relationship, and, you know, where is that boundary? And I want to make sure I'm respectful of that. And,
right.
You know, and I'm sure she wants to be too. She doesn't want other clients saying, great, now can I have origami owl in the lobby? And,
right.
You know,
and I didn't want it to turn into something like that. That was exactly my point. Yeah.
Yeah. So
when she opens that door, she can't just slam it shut, you know, so.
Right. And sometimes I have friends who are therapists, and what they do is they actually just, they sell oils and they're the therapist. So they're kind of on the reverse side. So if they have a client who's interested, they actually refer them out to another wellness advocate that's not related. And then that other therapist does, like, they have a relationship with someone else, like, and they'll do vice versa.
Okay.
So they kind of share in that way. So it's tricky. Therapists have a whole different ethics code that.
Right. And I just wasn't sure. And I didn't know if there was anything on doTERRA side where they're like, you shouldn't do that kind of thing.
Not from doTERRA side, but probably from the professional side from them.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be my guess.
Okay. So I'll talk to her at a non-appointment.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. and just go over some stuff with like that, and then go from there.
Yeah, and Amanda, I mean, I would just go into it as if everything's fine instead of going into it with like hesitation and I don't know, is this appropriate? Like, and I wouldn't even ask that question. Like, they'll let you know, or you could
just set it up as a class.
But like, if they say this is good, then I wouldn't just keep bringing it up. Like, well, are we sure it's okay? Like, just be confident in that it's fine. So
the other option is just to also ask what it costs to rent the space. So then it's just a professional relationship, completely separate from your other relationship you have. And you're just like, you have the most lovely space, and I wonder what it costs to rent this space, and to just keep it in that alignment, right? So in that moment, you're not a consumer of theirs. You're, of that service, you're a consumer in another method. Right. So that might be another way, is do you ever rent the space?
Yeah.
That's been an option for some people too.
Okay. Thank you.
Kathy enrolled one of her business builders by asking that question, and then they got curious. So.
And now she's a Blue Diamond.
That's right. Ask the questions, people. Ask the questions. So.
Thank you.
All right, you guys, we are done for tonight. Thank you so much for being on. It's good to see you guys. Yeah, I'm just so happy. Lauren, it's good to see you. And everybody, hi, Janine. Is that how I say your name? Now I'm afraid. Lauren, is it Janine? Is that your friend? I know, Janine, you messaged me. Email. It's Janine, right?
Yep, you got it.
Guys, it's Janine's first time on the call. Can we tell her hi? Hey, Janine. We're all waving at you. We're sending you lots of love. We're so happy that you got on tonight. And you guys, I am really, really excited. I'm going to stop recording.